We're recording right now. You're going to hear every little thing in this house.
Yeah, fair enough. I was gonna start in with continuing. I was gonna be like, so then Dom drove his car.
I was thinking the same thing. So because I've got a couple theories, and I saw one of them on TikTok that I was like, oh my god, I was onto something here. But yeah, we can do that if you want.
I mean, I already pressed the record, so like literally press record, and then you yelled, "We're recording now."
Oh, so that worked out great.
That worked.
Yeah,
perfect.
That's just me yelling at the family. Hey, shut up! I got this important Fast and the Furious podcast to record.
Yeah, exactly. We're rebranding. We're no longer talking about wrestling. We're talking about Fast and Furious only.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I hate the idea.
Right.
But.
Yeah. I mean, worse things have happened. So, but no, alas, it's Kris and Matt's Wrestling Pod, and it is we're recording this on Thursday night again because some things, real life gets in the way sometimes. So yeah, we got Matt. That wasn't a shot.
No, it's very kind of you to actually not throw me under the bus, because I would have thrown you under the bus. So.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, no.
I was rolling my eyes because it's 100% my fault.
Well, it's not your fault.
No, it's the person I was yelling at earlier who doesn't even know the name of the podcast. I do.
It's wedding season.
Yeah, but I'm going to spend 9 hours tomorrow carrying bags and taking pictures for her. So,
I like where your head's at.
Holly Clark Photography for anyone who might be watching who's getting married or has kids or needs pregnancy. What do they call those? Maternity photos, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
HollyClarkPhotography.com.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, we'll give her the plug. Sure.
Since I never plug anything.
Right. Yeah. Holly does great work. She did, let's see here. She did those photos right there of us dorks doing wrestling poses at my wedding.
They were the best photos of the day.
I mean, that was the most fun I've had ever.
Awesome.
Not just that moment, that whole day, but yeah, that was a big part of it. Like just being able to be doofuses with my friends and my wife encouraging it.
Yeah, right.
On our biggest day.
Yeah, like I'm still going to go through with this even after you guys did the crotch chop for our photographer. Yeah, that's how you know she's a keeper.
Exactly. But yeah, so we're here. We're going to talk some wrestling week. Big wrestling weekend, Matt. One of the busiest wrestling weekends I can remember.
Yeah, I think it's a symptom of the business overall right now where there's just a lot of good wrestling anywhere you look, and it's no longer a thing of like you can only find one style that's done well. There's so many companies doing so many different styles. There's just there's something for everyone this weekend, and some shows have something for everyone.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, we're going to talk about the two big ones today, but I mean, you start out Friday night. Impact's got a show, and then Night of Champions and Double or Nothing, and NXT is on Sunday night as well. Like, yeah, there's just a ton of wrestling on this holiday weekend here in the States. So
we'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you can't find something to enjoy this weekend, then you're not a wrestling fan.
Right. Or they'll find something they enjoy, but they'll focus on the stuff
on
they
the negative. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
that's me.
Yeah. Yep. That's why Matt's here, is to bring everyone's good time down. Are you gonna cut a Bray Wyatt promo?
I mean, I could. Well, no.
You got to grab that hat that's behind you on the wall. Put it.
Oh my gosh, I hadn't even thought about that. This is
man.
Just. I would sing, but the viewers that we do have would tune out right after that.
Yeah, fair enough. But
you're the musician. I'm music and moonsaults.
yeah. So yeah, we're gonna go through the Night of Champions and Double or Nothing cards here, and kind of give some quick thoughts and predictions. But before we do that, speaking of plugs, we'll get these out of the way. Please leave a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to the channel. And tell your friends to go to musicandmoonsaults.com. That's the easiest way to get to the YouTube channel and check out all our stuff. I've been really light on the music part of that this year just because of scheduling. Luckily for me, Foo Fighters has a new album coming out, and I will be doing a review of that. Royal Blood just announced a new album that'll be coming out later this year, so I'll be reviewing that. Mammoth WVH has an album coming out this year, so I'll be doing that. So maybe not as many retro reviews, but there's some new music coming out that I will definitely be reviewing here on the channel here in the coming months. So be on the lookout for that. I think that's everything. Yeah. All right. Let's do this. WWE Night of Champions.
All right, I'm going to get out of here.
Okay.
You can handle this. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Cool. Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus.
So I didn't realize that was on the show. I thought that was a SummerSlam thing.
I thought they were safe. I mean, they might do a return at SummerSlam, but yeah, I mean, I was kind of surprised too.
Wow. I would get just the way things have gone with Becky the last. I would bet Trish. Doesn't it make more sense for Trish to win here?
I think if they do a return at SummerSlam with some sort of stipulation, I think Trish wins here. Especially over there, that Saudi crowd, they're kind of, they do a lot of the nostalgia stuff over there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if they're planning on extending this, then I say Trish wins. If not, then Becky wins.
Yeah. A loss isn't going to hurt Becky any more than a win would help her, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like, nothing really gets accomplished either way here, I think, if Becky wins or loses. So you might as well have her lose and at least give Trish a little more of a legitimacy, especially if you are doing the comeback at SummerSlam.
Yeah, for sure. There's 3 women's matches on this card. So,
wow.
Yay, progress. Not Progress Wrestling, but anyhow.
I mean, they've never done anything wrong, right?
The Raw Women's Championship, which the story has been played out on SmackDown the last couple weeks. Bianca Belair is defending against Asuka in a WrestleMania. I think Asuka's got to win this one, right?
See, no, to me, if Asuka was going to win, she had to do it at Mania. Right? Wouldn't that have been the bigger audience and
It would have, but Bianca's, much like the Roman conversation, Bianca's got the record now. So, I mean, I guess she can just, set that to the moon and make it untouchable. But I don't know why you do the rematch if Asuka doesn't win this time.
I mean, to put a women's championship match on the show in Saudi Arabia.
Well, I think they've got the SmackDown Women's Championship match.
Well, no, but I'm saying like the titles get defended in Saudi Arabia, like that, and I wouldn't have Bianca, especially if you're gonna take it off of her, you want it to be a big moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Saudi crowd wouldn't react nearly as impactfully as if you did it the month later in the UK at Money in the Bank, right? Like you do it there, it becomes that crowd is going to be invested in it. They're going to give you an unbelievable reaction. So it just makes more sense to me that if you're like, okay, we're going to get it off of Bianca, you do it there, or SummerSlam would be fine too. But I wouldn't do it in a place where you're not going to get the crowd reaction like that. Because, I mean, let's face it, the Saudi crowds, they're fine crowds, but it's not nearly the fandom that, the UK is going to bring.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it again. You could have if you could have given this match to anyone if you weren't gonna have if Asuka's not gonna win this time. You could have given this match to anyone and waited for the rematch for Money in the Bank or something. And also looking at the you're crowning a brand new champion, obviously, but then all the other titles, I don't see, especially the other women's title, I don't see changing hands. So I could see them. In fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and say Asuka's gonna win.
See, I think the argument you just made about um, uh, uh, if you're gonna take it off, or I'm sorry, the point you just made about Bianca having the belt this long and all, like I think that's all the more reason why it needs to last a little longer and um, let her get a little more depth into the record. And again, whoever beats her needs to be a bigger deal. I don't think Asuka beating her on the rematch is nearly would do much more to elevate Asuka because it would be kind of underwhelming at this point, I think, because WrestleMania is the big show.
That's fair. The SmackDown Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley doing the obligatory defense against Natalya. So
Rhea's winning.
right. Yeah, I mean, it's just like I don't know. It's like a rite of passage. Every new champion has to do a Natalya feud.
Sure. And Natalya never ever wins.
Right.
Poor Natalya.
Intercontinental Championship match. This one should be a good one. It's Gunther defending against Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, it could be a great match. I think it really depends if they give it time.
Give it time and what they what kind of story they want to tell with it. But yeah, if it's given time and the guys are kind of given the okay to go all out, I think this one could be this one could steal the show actually if under the right circumstances. So but Gunther is going to retain. There's no way he's dropping it to Ali here.
Right.
Yeah. Brings us to the Undisputed Tag Team Championship. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens defending against Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa.
All right. The conventional odd, like I think the choice most people are going KO and Sami, right?
Yeah, you're going.
No. That's my prediction. I'd put the belts on Roman and Solo, and I'd make him make the Usos carry the belts for him, like Heyman carries the tie. Like I would really make like the mental abuse of like hold my championships, hold our championships as more of like the we got done what you couldn't get done because they've effectively ended KO and Sammy's involvement in the storyline, right? It's been minimal the last few weeks.
I mean, yeah.
Right, because it's been more about Roman being like, you let me down, blah, blah, blah. You take the belts off of them, and then KO and Sammy can become, whatever on Raw if you want to use them as challengers for the new champion or whatever. And you add a little more steam to the bloodline thing. Because the opposite of KO and Sammy winning, what are the Usos going to come back and be like, oh, it wasn't so easy? Like,
well, see, I think the Usos are going to end up inadvertently costing Solo and Roman the match. I think that's the way it's going to happen. Yeah. They're going to come in.
There's that too.
Yeah, I think they're going to come in and try and help and in some way screw it up, and then that's going to make Roman even more pissed. And there's I don't even know. I don't know the source, so I'm not going to put too much stock into it, but I did see that one of the things being floated for SummerSlam, I believe, is Usos versus Roman and Solo.
See, if that's legitimate, that's all the more reason to put the belts on Solo and Roman. Yeah. Because because then, so when I was fantasy booking this in my head during my car ride earlier, uh, you get the tag belts on Solo and Roman, and then you have whichever Uso you want pin Roman to win the tag titles. So not only did they win the tag titles, but they become the first person to pin Roman clean in the middle of the ring, and God knows how long.
Yeah.
And then you give it at least gives that Us the plausibility that they could actually beat Roman in a match when you inevitably do the match, because no matter how well you build the story up, without a win like that, no one's ever going to believe either of the Usos would actually beat Roman.
Right.
And one of the problems they're having with him is credible challengers that it feels like, oh, this could be the one.
Well, because every time they have one, they just have him beat them.
Right. But if the new one has a victory over Roman.
Yeah, and then he'll just beat them too. And then we'll just continue this cycle over and over and over.
All that being said, if Roman doesn't defend the championship at SummerSlam, like, just at that point, it's there's no point in even paying attention to those championships would then become meaningless, right? Because they've been on them for so long and they're not ever defended. So
yeah. Yeah, but I'm still sticking. Although if Roman and Solo do win, I gotta have Roman do the Ultimo Dragon picture with all the belts.
Yeah.
But I'm going with Sami and Kevin retaining.
Sure.
Speaking of rematches nobody wanted, Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes, and now Cody's got a broken arm. Kayfabe. Like, I got nothing.
I just really enjoy watching the life sucked out of you by how they've handled Cody the last few months. I don't enjoy it I don't enjoy it like on a like a sick level, but it's just like I've hated that guy for so long to watch this just completely fall apart.
Like, he's got to lose, right?
He has to lose. If it was beyond ridiculous when they would have people like end their matches with Brock Lesnar where they're at a clear disadvantage and Brock just doesn't destroy them. Like, if he's got a broken arm, this match should be over in 3 minutes, if that.
Yeah. Yeah, because no, he's got to lose. And then I don't know if that means we continue this for a rubber match at Money in the Bank, or God forbid that's Cody's SummerSlam match. Kill me.
What makes more sense? I mean, what makes the most sense at this point?
Probably SummerSlam, I guess. But anyhow, because if he wins, then then you're in shoving him down people's throats territory, and that's not where you want to be with him. Or maybe that is where they want to be with him. Who knows? I don't know. So, but I'm going.
Sorry, dude.
No,
yeah, Brock has to win.
Yeah, it's just it sucks. It sucks. But you get what you get, I suppose. And then crowning the new World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles. This should be really good, but this is Seth's belt. I mean, I think it has been since they announced it. I think, especially when you got AJ like in the media doing interviews, he's like, "Well, yeah, it's a secondary belt."
Yeah, I don't. Oh man, I can't get a feel for it because, like, I know we don't pay attention to backstage stuff, but it's not backstage; it's out there. Like, if he's doing this Captain America movie and he's already scheduled to miss more time, and it does well for him, and he gets more gigs, Is he turning those gigs down because he's got this new championship? I don't think he is. So, like, then he becomes everything that he's supposed to be against, and it's just like Cena and The Rock and all that. Like, I feel like I feel like it's going to be AJ, even though it should be Seth Rollins. But
so then what? AJ and the OC move back to Raw, even though they just got drafted to SmackDown? Like,
I mean, come on. You really expect, like, they'll just, if it makes the most sense, they're not going to, they'll try to explain it, or they might just ignore it. The whole bloodline is on SmackDown, but every time I watch the Raw recap, Paul Heyman's there. Why?
Right.
Come on.
Because he's Roman's messenger, and Roman's got a match against the Undisputed Tag Team Champions.
Okay. And that bullshit logic, even though it is logic in WWE, is the exact same bullshit logic that'll apply if AJ wins. Like,
I guess. I think it's Seth's. I mean, he's, he pretty much, he did it for the longest time, especially, while Cody was out injured. Like, he carried Raw. He carried that show on his back. But then I'm also going to go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I just think I just think you got to reward him at this point. And then, if he does take more acting gigs, then you take the title off of him. It's not that big of a deal. Like, this isn't something where he's got to hold it for forever. Like, that's the opposite of what you want to do with this one, I think. Because that's what you're doing with the other title. Like,
right. But I will give this argument to it too then. Okay, so Seth wins and the title stays on Raw. Where does that leave SmackDown then with like any of the important titles after this? Assuming KO and Sammy win, Gunther's on Raw now. The world heavy over on SmackDown, the world champion is technically there, but he's never there. Mm-hmm. Like, what's the drawing power on SmackDown to give people a reason to be like, oh, I need to watch this show because there's a big, there's a champion over there. Even though AJ could win and still be on Raw, you could say they're still on SmackDown and he appears on both shows now because of that. And we have a champion who's actually around on both shows.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you just tell your other champion to show up to work every once in a while.
Well, what a concept.
But that's just me. So, but anyways, that's the Night of Champions card. Now let's get to the main event of the weekend. AEW Double or Nothing. Live on pay-per-view this Sunday from Las Vegas. I don't know if this match is this match on the main show, or is it the Firm versus the Hardy Party?
I'm pretty sure that's a buy-in match.
Is that the buy-in? Okay.
I think so.
Then we'll go with TBS title, Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie.
I mean, I'm picking Jade until she finally loses, and I don't think this is that spot.
Right. The old never bet against Bill Belichick or Nick Saban type deal.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you just stick with that method, you're going to come out ahead. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's fair. That's probably the smart way to go. And I think they've had the match on like Rampage or something. They did this match already, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah. And Taya lost and got upset and picked up Aubrey and they did that whole thing.
Yeah. So I think Jade's going to retain here. And then Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm for the AEW Women's title. I'm surprised they're doing the singles match again. I mean, they did the 6-person on Dynamite a couple weeks ago, which was weird. Or they were supposed to, and then they turned into
Hayter's hurt.
Right. But so then why is she wrestling a singles match?
I I think they're trying like the whole get it in the ring. I think that's got to be the mentality. Otherwise, we're gonna get like not a swerve, but like a surprise announcement of filling in for Jamie Hayter. Blah blah blah.
I guess could be. So you're going with Tony regaining the championship then?
I honestly, I don't know. What if it's Britt? What if they have Britt fill in for Jamie? Do you just keep the title? Do you leave it on Britt so that eventually when Jamie's healthy, they can finally do that split?
See, I don't think they're interested in doing that split. I think
everyone's
been fantasy booking that split for like a year and a half now, and I don't think they're interested in the slightest of doing it right at all.
And that's fine too. Like I don't know what to think because I don't think Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm is going to be the actual match. If that's the match, if they get it in the ring, Tony. But I think it's too up in the air.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I'm gonna zag, and I'm gonna say they'll figure out a way to do the match, and hopefully it's not something. I mean, if it's something where Jamie's got to be gone for a long time, then yeah, you got to get the belt off of her. But if something where she just needs a little, a little bit more rehab and rest and stuff like that, and she can be around, and maybe not wrestling for a few weeks or whatever, I would keep it on her because if at all possible, you want her to be the champion going into All In. I think.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So. We have a 21-man battle royal for the AEW International title. I don't have a list of participants. Obviously, Orange Cassidy is in there. And I believe Ricky Starks and Jay White and Juice Robinson both. I think all three kind of.
Yeah, and like Keith,
we're going to be in it.
I saw the graphic. I'm trying to remember all in it. Keith Lee and Swerve are in it. I think Ray Phoenix and Penta are in it. Yeah, it's a cluster. It's pretty much everyone who's on the shows occasionally who doesn't have a match.
Gotcha. OC retains.
But he better. Yeah, I think Chuck Taylor's in it. I don't recall if I saw Trent, but yeah, Orange has to win. It would be really, really stupid to not have someone beat him for the title after the run he's had with it.
Yeah, I agree. We have a ladder match for the TNT title: Wardlow versus Christian Cage.
Wardlow. I don't know.
I mean,
honestly, who cares?
Who could possibly care? Yeah, I mean, the way that they've been booking Wardlow with this TNT title, I mean, I'm almost want to say Christian Cage because every time Wardlow gets it, they take it right off of him. But yeah, I'm gonna guess Wardlow keeps it. This is Christian trying to do his part to elevate Wardlow. But we'll see. The one I know you're really excited for, FTR defending the tag team titles against Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal for the AEW tag team titles with Mark Briscoe as special guest referee.
I swear to God, I cannot live in a world where if they, oh my God, if they put the belts on Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, I will blow a gasket on this show next Friday. Gasket. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I know FDR's winning. Yeah, I don't think you have anything to worry about there.
You're so bored by the idea of Jeff Jarrett, you're yawning. Literally yawning.
It's been a week. I didn't have time. I was gonna be like make it a Thursday night recording tradition that if we record on Thursday I take a shot, but I didn't have time to get it around before I had to get.
Like if I take a shot, I will fall asleep on the air.
That too. But I was like, I gotta get in here and get this set up so we can get going. But yeah, it's been a week, so gotta love them holiday weeks.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, FTR, they're gonna retain here. No problem. All right, now we get to the three big ones as far as I'm concerned, and we'll start with an unsanctioned match between Adam Cole and Chris Jericho. And Adam Cole is going to have Sabu in his corner. Because why not?
Yeah, because it makes total sense, given Sabu's long history of hatred of Chris Jericho and his decades-long friendship with Adam Cole. What the hell?
This is TK because he was in, I think he saw Jericho and Sabu wrestle at one of those ECW shows that he went to back in the day. So this is just TK like with his wrestling figures being like, oh, here's what I'm.
Yeah, well, I mean, sure, it's get Sabu a payday. Good for him. Look. You're bringing Sabu back. You were just in Detroit 2 weeks ago. You couldn't have brought him out in Detroit and been like, local hero, blah, blah, blah.
He didn't want to get on the plane. That's why he's here, because he lives in Vegas.
Yeah, I guess, but whatever. I didn't know he lived in Vegas. I guess
Cole mentioned it when he was making, when he was in the lead up. Because I was thinking, even with everything Tyson has said about not wanting to work with them again, I was thinking like they figured out something to do with Tyson because of the history with Jericho, and Sabu was not on my short list of people I was thinking of when Adam Cole was running down the list of clues on who he was bringing in. Until we got to the homicidal, genocidal bit, and I'm like, oh, Sabu, okay.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good for them.
My wife was home by the time when I was watching that part of Dynamite. She's like, she sees him like Sabu like hobble to the ring because he's old and putting himself through a million tables, and she's like, well, what is he gonna do? And I go, well, he's probably gonna fall through a bunch of tables.
Yeah, or jump off a chair onto somebody through a table. God. As far as match prediction, I think it's going to be Cole.
Yeah, I think so. For this one, and then this feud will continue, and Jericho will win the next one probably. But yeah, Adam's got to win this one.
Yeah, he needs the big. I hope this is a one and done.
Yeah.
I really do. Neither one of these guys needs like the other one, and they both could be used at somewhere else on the card in a better spot, I think.
You say that, but like what? Like what do you do with Adam after this? That's, who else is there? I mean, I guess you could funnel him towards MJF.
And I think that's where they're going.
If your boy's coming back, I got a feeling that's where MJF's going.
Not right away. No.
See, I think so.
Nah, that dude is going nowhere. That is going to happen at some point, but I don't think the title is going to be involved. He's going to have to come back and be a good boy for a long time. Because the last thing you want to have happen is put your eggs in that basket and then have him melt down right in the middle of it, and it doesn't happen.
Right.
So.
Well, especially when you consider like he hasn't been punished for this at all.
Right.
Well, because he was the only reason why he's been gone is because he was injured.
I mean, that's partially true, I guess.
He was never officially suspended because he was hurt.
We don't know that. Yeah, but also he wasn't entirely in the wrong in the situation either. He handled it wrong, but he wasn't in the wrong for the entire
I could
situation.
make the same argument for the other parties involved, and they were suspended.
They're executives in the company.
It's fair. But
that's goddamn right it is. Anyway, Adam Cole is winning this match because I think Adam Cole is next up for MJF. It's an incredibly credible contender for MJF. You know the promos will be amazing. They've already leaned into it a little bit with Britt and MJF and the pillar talk.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's, I think that's the next. And look, I don't think Cole's going to come out of it on the other end as champion, which would be a bad thing because they already had him, kind of be Hangman's credible opponent. But I still think Adam Cole is going to be a world champion AEW fairly soon. I just don't think it'll be right away. But it'll be a great feud to head into this massive summer they have.
Yeah, I could see that. But if I had to put money on it, I would imagine that this feud continues after this pay-per-view. But we'll see. I could be proven wrong. Well, speaking of those executives, we have the match I'm looking forward to the most. The match that is making me shell out money for this show in some form or fashion. Anarchy in the Arena, Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite. Last year's Anarchy in the Arena was just a hoot. Like it was. Like I had so much fun during that match. Like that match was ridiculously awesome. And I can't wait to see what these 8 guys do this year. Especially now that, last year Blackpool Combat Club, teaming with Eddie and Santana and Ortiz, they were the baby faces and now they're the heels. So I like to see that and that change up here, and I don't know. These 8 guys, I just can't wait to see what their sick and twisted brains come up with.
Yeah, I mean, and it's going to be, man, the Double or Nothings with the Stadium Stampedes and now the Anarchy. Like, I love that it's got this specialty match and it gives you something to look forward to because it's not a cinematic, but it's a wild brawl that you just know is going to be quality.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really expecting to see, I'm excited to see how Wheeler Yuta comes out of this.
Yeah.
Because of all 8 men in the match, he kind of needs a spotlight shined on him so that he can really be a credible fourth on the Blackpool Combat Club.
Right. And they've been kind of, especially when you figure if you were to ask me, who was going to take the L in this match, he would be my first guess out of everyone. They're kind of playing into the fact that he's the weak link. Brian on commentary, during the match last night was kind of getting on Yuta's case about not, putting all his weight into the pins and stuff like that. And
right. I've been a professional.
Yeah, and then afterwards you could see Brian kind of getting in his face a little bit in the ring, and Yuta kind of with his hands behind his back, like, okay, taking his verbal lashings there. So that's interesting to see how that continues to develop. But I feel like the Reunited Elite need this, especially because the Blackpool Combat Club have been kind of, kicking the shit out of them for 2 months basically. But I don't know.
Yeah. See, I think Blackpool Combat Club wins here, so you can. It's going to be they're going to find a way to cheat, just like last year with the Jericho Appreciation Society. There's going to be something dastardly in here. I know that, some people think Takeshita is going to show up and join Blackpool Combat Club. even though he's been sided with the Elite, and then that could lead to a surprise fifth for Blood and Guts or something at Forbidden Door. Um, I just think it makes more sense too to have Blackpool Combat Club win here because the Elite haven't been together in several years at this point, and again, it's not going to hurt them to lose. So if the Blackpool Combat Club are supposed to be the violent fighters that just beat the hell out of everybody and can destroy everybody, I feel like this is a match they need to win, and then the Elite need to figure out how to get beyond it, come back together as a unit. Because otherwise, I think you're just kind of super powering them as this unbeatable group.
If this was a straight 4-on-4 match, I would agree with you. But seeing as this is like kind of the Wild West and anything goes, it's not like I don't think that plays as much into this. But I see your point. But yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth about who this is probably out of every match. This is the one that I'm like could go either way. You could literally flip a coin on this one. I think.
I mean, I think that speaks to the star power in the match. Like,
mm-hmm.
I said, it's not going to hurt the Elite to lose. I mean, you could say the same thing about Blackpool Combat Club. I just feel like the Elite is so high up in kind of like the stature that if Blackpool Combat Club actually, takes down the Elite for an extended period of time, it boosts them up to like a top tier stable, even like God tier stable at that point.
Yeah, but also I think if Blackpool Combat Club lost, I think it's easier for heels to get their heat back than it is for baby faces off a loss to get, but I don't know. We'll see.
The Elite are such bait. Look, man, even when they tried their damnedest to make Kenny like a heel, there is still a chunk of that audience that's going to love him no matter what. Those four guys are, look, the real pillars of AEW, though it's those four guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Two very important questions. How do the Elite come out? Like, do they come out to their own separate entrance music? Do they come out to the Being the Elite theme? Like, Carry On Wayward Son, I think, has to be reserved for Kenny and the Bucks only.
Yeah.
What are we thinking here? I don't know if you saw, someone did an edit where they took the slow-mo footage of the return from a couple weeks ago from BTE, and they put the Avengers fanfare music behind it.
Yeah.
And like, especially because it hit, like, especially when Kenny has the trash can lid on his hand, and he, like, I'm like, I mean, TNT is always playing Infinity War.
Yeah, right.
It
How
seems
hard
like
would it
every
really be
weekend? Like, I mean, come on, that would be pretty awesome. But
I feel like they got to find their own new thing to come out to, right? They
like
got to come out.
too.
But what song is it gonna be?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. We'll see. And then, are we gonna have another Wild Thing moment where the song just loops, or was that just?
I feel like once I don't know, they could do it and could be really cool, but I feel like once was like, man, that was a really nice touch. Twice, like I don't know.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I feel like that's a bit that's got to stay with that first match.
Yeah. Even though, like, if they did it and if they planned it out like the right way,
yeah, it definitely would get a good reaction, I think. But yeah,
for nostalgia or just for like the pure shock of it, like I leave it at the first one because no one saw that coming and it just added to it.
So funny, so hilarious. All right, and then we get to our main event, MJF defending the AEW World Title against Darby Allin, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and Sammy Guevara. And MJF wins. Like, there's no other answer.
Yeah, it would be a mistake. I just no. I can't wrap my head around it. No matter how many times I try to be like, well, could they make it work? No, none of it makes sense to me.
Yeah, we should probably not record on Thursday nights anymore. I just realized
Why?
because we did that whole Double or Nothing breakdown, and I still had the Night of Champions graphic up.
Jeez,
I just noticed it.
what
So
kind of rinky dink operation are we running over here?
very rinky dink.
Uh,
Very.
yeah, I can't look, man. MJ, I feel like it's so cliche, but he's a generational talent. None of those guys are at his level yet. It just doesn't make sense. He can be used to help elevate them, but it just not yet. And I like all like I have respect and like something about all of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not at that level.
No, they're not. And again, like I don't want to beat the dead horse about match placement here. So I won't. But yeah, it's a MJF. I mean, it'll be. I'm sure they'll come up with some creative ways to make you think that he might lose, but at the end of the day, he'll come up with some backhanded way to escape with the title still.
Yeah. And I think this match
B.
needs right. And this match too, I think I wouldn't be surprised if after the match is over, I'm not saying it'll be Punk, but if there's some like big name kind of makes their presence felt in the company.
Mm-hmm.
It could be someone from New Japan because Forbidden Door is right around the corner. It could be Punk. It could be another contender from inside the company or a new signing or I feel like it's so obvious MJF is going to win. That can't if it goes on last, it can't the way AEW shows end, it just wouldn't make sense to end. Oh, and MJF wins.
Right.
Like there would have to be something more, right?
You'd think, but I mean, isn't that how they? I mean, I didn't see it, so I don't know. But isn't that pretty much how they ended the last pay per view? Was just MJF wins. Revolution.
I guess I didn't. Yeah. I didn't see it. Yeah, going back, I mean, like, just year after year, whatever the main event is, unless the last match has been the Stadium Stampede, it's felt like there was kind of a surprise or like crowning a new champion finish, or the Danielson Adam Cole debut, or the MJF phone call after Punk won. Like
those last two were all out. So yeah, let's go through Double or Nothing. Let's see here. The first one was the Moxley debut,
right
after the Kenny Jericho match, and then the Stadium Stampede the next 2 years,
right,
and then last year was Punk winning. So yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying.
It got capped off with like a big moment, and then even going back like the full gears, you had Hangman, closed it out the one time, but this past one was MJF getting the belt.
Yeah,
like the pay-per-view endings aren't just usually the champion retains and that's it. If the champion retains, it feels like there's always something else.
That's true. So, all right. Well, we did it.
Hooray. We made it.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the show, though. I think, I don't think there's anything that's going to be outright bad. So there's that.
Yeah. And I mean, look, they've, I guess you and I learned the hard way because we both said we didn't want to see Revolution. It just wasn't a build we were interested in. And it was renowned by people for being just an incredible show. Like I totally feel bad that now that I didn't see it.
I do. I mean, I don't really I do, but I don't yeah. Okay. I missed out on some good matches, but again, it's not like good matches or great matches even are that hard to come by these days. So,
right.
Again,
I guess I say that to say like this, it doesn't really matter what the card looks like on paper, we know they're going to deliver a pretty good show either way.
Sure. It's just, again, as we discussed in lead up to Revolution, if you're asking me to pay, if $50 solo or even $25 going to the theater or going in halvesies with someone, like, I need more than just the promise of a bunch of really great matches, like, to come out of pocket for that stuff. So,
Sure.
But that's just me. I mean, to each their own. So,
Night of Champions is free. I'm not going to watch a second of that.
Well, right, exactly. So, and there'll be, I mean, like I said, when we talk about that, there's at least, I could go as far as I think there's the potential for 3 really good matches on that card. I think the tag title match should be really good.
Oh yeah.
The world title match, and then, like I said, depending on what direction they want to take the Gunther match in, I think that has the potential to be really good. So.
Dude, Bianca and Asuka's gonna slap. Like, this is gonna be a really good match. Like, you think Becky and Trish aren't gonna try to tear the house down? Like, it'll be, the in-ring stuff will be great.
Yeah. So, but all right. Is there anything else from the week? I mean, United Center is official, so
we still don't know. Is he not coming back or not?
No backup plan necessary.
Whatever. He's gonna be there. It's exciting. I'm gonna miss it because I'll be shooting a wedding, and I don't have cable anymore, so I wouldn't see it anyway. But thank God I'll see a gazillion TikToks that night. Yeah. Aussie Open signing with AEW was kind of whoa, didn't see that coming. And
especially because one of them's hurt right now.
Right, and it sounds like they knew he was hurt before they signed him, and TK paid they put him on the medical and took care of the surgery before they even officially signed with the company. But someone pointed out, like, if you had the 5 top tag teams in the world right now, 4 of them are probably in AEW.
Yeah.
And FTR is defending the titles against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even count the Acclaimed were insanely hot before they got the belts taken off them. The Guns had finally showed they were coming into their own, and then it all kind of got slowed down. So there's a lot of room for this tag team division to grow again with this extra show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Should be interesting. We'll see where everything goes. So, yeah, I think that's it. I don't think
Hulk Hogan wants to wrestle Stone Cold at WrestleMania 40.
Don't care.
Come on.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah, no line has ever been more true.
Yeah.
Austin, all right, so now that we're done with the wrestling stuff,
Austin didn't want to do that match 20 years ago. Why would he want to do it now?
Right. You could probably use a big payday, but you'd do it in Saudi Arabia, they'd probably get $10 million each.
Probably.
That's probably how you get the match. Now that we're done with the wrestling stuff, I can just keep explaining to you my fan theories about Fast and the Furious. You can stop this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. That's for us to know and you guys to find out. So yeah. Tune in next week. We'll have our thoughts on Double or Nothing, and all that good kind of stuff. So until next week, see ya.